So one of the other key muscles to stretch is your hip flexor. So those are along the front part of your hip here. Especially if you're sitting all day during your job, this is a huge one for getting enough extension when you're running, getting that nice trailing limb, which gives you a lot of power to come forward. So if you don't have anything to elevate your foot, you're going to be on the ground. To increase your stretch and wind up your hip joint a little bit, you're going to turn in your toe. Hips are going to be square forward, your knee is going to be straight because we're trying to get the front of the head right here. We're going to use arm drivers to increase the stretch. You can either do both arms or the same arm with the same hip. I'm going to do both my arms. So we're going to take both arms and we're going to drive them overhead and back as your hip drives forward. You want to make sure that you're not bending your knee. It's going to take out the stretch at the front of the hip. So keep that knee straight, drive forward, trying to keep that heel down because that'll also take it out of the hip. You can do about 10 repetitions there. Next direction is going to go overhead and to the side. So you want to make sure you find your stretch first and then drive your arms up and over. You'll still feel it through the front, but also a little bit more on the side of the hip.
But what she's doing, because you can get rules like tells you what days to run, how many minutes.
Again, I go about 10. You could always do more than that, or if you feel like you need more stretch, you can be doing it. The third direction, rotationally, we want to stretch in all three planes. We're going to come across the body. Again, driving your hips forward. A lot of people will make the mistake that they'll twist. You won't feel the same stretch. So hips drive forward, arms are just rotating to try to get a little bit of a different angle for the front part of that hip. Stay nice and tall for your torso and keep on driving forward. My heel is coming up a little bit, my calves are tight, so that's another thing too. You could lift on a towel to take out your calf to focus more on the hip. The next variation that I do to increase the stretch, finding a chair, finding a log. I do this a lot on the back of my car after I run. So again, you're going to toe in to wind up your joint capsule, put the opposite leg on top of a chair, anything elevated, straighten that knee out. You can hang on if you need a little bit more balance and drive with a single arm. Again, trying to keep your knee nice and straight. And then up and over. And across.
Yeah, I started enjoying it.
That can be both arms.
You know, still see around.
A little bit trickier to keep your balance.
So I